What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of
Mom and Son Podcast. This is Rose Fres Fausto, FQ Mom.
And this is Anton Fausto, the son. Okay, so now it's already June.
Yes.
Patapos na ang summer, right?
Yeah.
What are the real summer months ba?
For others, it's still just the start of summer. So it's
mainit pa rin.
Yeah.
But there's finally some rain na. The weather's changing. And
in fact, it's the first week of school for some elementary schools right now.
oh no, the
understand.
traffic is back.
But it's going to be gradual. So
Yeah.
that's why some people prefer it this way. It's staggered down.
Yeah, hindi siya all at once.
Okay.
And since it's June, I've been having this this kind of discussion with Dikong yesterday na wow, grab it's June na and it's already mid-year kasi I still feel like kaka 2019 pa lang, because even when it's May, you feel like it's the start of the year pa, trial round pa, parang still getting the hang of how it's like in the new year. But no, since we're in the middle part of the year na, you're really
Halfway
in it na.
through.
Yeah, you're really in it na. So you wanna check how are we doing, with our goals, how are you doing with everything you set yourself to do at the start of the year. And that's why our topic today's episode is getting over a slump. So
Slump.
the middle of the year, there's also this thing kasi called hump day, which is
Okay.
on Wednesday. That's tomorrow. How do you get over those hump days in life, in the bigger scale, when it comes to achieving your yearly goals? How do you get over? Like, what are the important things to remember, or what's the mindset that you have to keep when you want to
Stay motivated.
stay motivated to still achieve your goals? Because I think that this is the most important part, I guess, of the most crucial part of achieving a goal. It's not the setting the goal or taking the first step, because it's the continuing it even when natatamad ka na sometimes, or when you're in the middle of it.
Sometimes you get overwhelmed, no? Because you have one big goal and you're nowhere near the fulfillment of that, and you realize that you're halfway through the year already. So maybe what's important is to break it down
Yeah.
into small milestones, no? That's why we do have a quarterly assessment. And so when June is over, we will have to have our second
Yeah.
quarterly assessment. And it's not just a quarterly assessment na, no? It's like a half-year assessment. Kung kalahati na, kaya pa ba?
Yeah. Because you gotta have an idea if you're on yung first quarter kasi, parang ano pa yun eh.
Medyo
Okay,
bago pa.
sige, like, mas may room for error. I guess you can...
There's
to
more
what's
time to catch up.
Yeah, to catch up and to kahit medyo restart. Pero in the middle of the year, kung hindi mo pa nagagawa, as in, even if there's no real progress yet, then it's like a bigger wake-up call. So even if it's, for me, even if it's the hardest part of any goal, like a diet, na, okay ba kasi mga first few days of a diet, motivated ka pa, na ba, yeah, I'm gonna get my dream body, ganyan. Pero when you're in the middle of the year, it's like, wow, parang is it still worth it, ganyan, if I eat some more, gagakayo na naman ako. So I think this it's actually a good thing kasi since you have the middle part, whether it's a year, a month, or basta you have that middle part, it's like how to say this, a reason for you to double check kung you're on the right path ba when it comes to this stuff. And nice. Can you expound more on the breaking it down?
Okay. I was gonna say kasi when you're saying that if you're in the middle of it, and I was thinking about midlife.
Oh.
Di ba parang in our life, when you reach midlife, the stage where Papa and I are in, that's really the time when you pause and assess na, ako pa ba ito mga pinagagawa ko? Kasi, and that's why we have this so-called midlife crisis. Kasi we
Yeah.
are really sort of forced to pause and reassess nga eh. Kasi this is now the time to figure out na, is this really the path I'm going to take for the rest of my life? Because, time is running out na rin. It's not like a first quarter, you guys, ikaw, papunta ka pa lang dun sa first quarter mo, no?
Yeah.
But when it's midlife, talagang medyo matauhang ka na dapat. So, back to what you asked.
Would you say that you're still in the midlife part? Because if you multiply it by 2, that's
Well,
100 eh.
Yes,
Plus.
but that's what it's called.
Yeah.
And you
This
cannot
era.
discount the fact.
Would you have like an age range of what the midlife is?
For some, it starts as early as 35 years old.
Yeah.
And then goes all the way to 50s.
Okay.
So
pasok pa.
Oo, pasok pa
Kung
kami.
60 ka na, tapos you're saying midlife pa. Parang stretching na yun.
Medyo
no?
stretching na yun. Senior ka na nun eh.
Yeah. Okay.
So, dapat medyo alam mo na rin yung papa. But you know, kasi such is life, di ba? You can never have it all figured out. Because if you feel that you've had it all figured out, then you're in danger.
Yeah.
So, maybe it's also that kind of mindset that we should take in terms of handling the slump that you're calling it.
Mhm.
Para ba sasabihin mo, such is life eh. So, you just have to make the best, make the most out of what you've done and what you can still do. And one of these things, guys, is really to break it down into smaller goals, which we call milestones.
Yeah.
So, if you're feeling the slump, maybe it's time for you to also write down and be more aware of what you've already accomplished. Parang may konting boost. Diba,
Okay.
no?
Yeah, kasi we always, we focus on the negatives masyado. I think that's like
that's a human
it's a
wiring.
human thing na parang, hindi ko pa nagawa to, hindi ko pa na-achieve to, hindi ko pa na-accomplish to. But it's actually important to write your mini victories down, to remember them, because these mini victories you have are actually what's gonna help you stay motivated to carry on the rest of the second half of whatever it is you're trying to achieve.
Oh, you know this thing about the list makers, yung to-do list. Sometimes, diba, we have a to-do list. And then when we come up with something and we've done it now, we will still write it down so we can check.
Yeah.
So, okay lang yun. Anything that motivates you is fine. No? You just have to also have an honest assessment, because it's also possible that you're doing something wrong, and you cannot expect for a change if you keep doing it the same way.
Yeah.
So, it's a balancing act, no? It's okay to tell yourself, oops, kulang ka dito. But don't forget also the mini accomplishments, the mini milestones that you've already accomplished. Kasi yun yung parang vitamins mo eh.
And what's your take on the going back to one of these old topics or ideas we talked about, the impostor syndrome? Because I would think about that every now and then. Like I've been having, like recently I've been achieving some of these goals I set out a long time ago, but I can't help but think sometimes na,
do I deserve this?
Did I really achieve it, or was I chamba lang, o right place at the right time? Was it really like a journey na since I did this, since I set this goal, since I took the steps, ganyan, and then I got here? Or kasi it's great to achieve your goals, it feels good, but there's always, I would always say that there's always like another side of a positive. There's always like a negative way of looking at it. There's always like a pessimistic way of looking at it. Na even if I love I love this job I'm about to start, I love that I'm achieving these goals, I can't help but also think na parang baka chamba lang tong lahat.
Kasi alam mo yung imposter syndrome, for those who don't know, it's really that feeling of insecurity that you don't deserve, that they will kumbaga, they will someday discover
Find
that
out you're a fraud.
Yeah. So, that is a very common feeling among people, and it stems from the same insecurity. Sometimes kasi we always are very critical of ourselves na yun nga, it's really that focusing on what is lacking. Syempre, lahat naman ng tao may lacking, ano?
Yeah.
So, when you are achieving something, there is the tendency to think of, sana ko kulang, baka hindi ko deserve. Baka I don't deserve this, and they might find out that I don't. So, parang ano din yan eh. If it is mild, that's okay, so that you are on your toes, so that you're not going to be mayabang. Diba? Kasi yun din yung extreme, nun eh. However, don't overdo it kasi you might be over-focusing on what else you are lacking.
And then dun yung focus mo. Tapos parang yun pa yung lalaki.
Oo.
Kasi
what you focus
on
grows, diba?
Yeah.
Tapos baka naman din, sometimes, baka there is an, it's not deliberate, no? It's a subconscious way of being afraid of really succeeding. Kasi if you say that hindi naman talaga nachamba ko lang So there is a
Yeah.
way out if you're not going to maximize that potential.
Yeah, if you're gonna look for a way to, why your mind then's gonna look for ways to agree with that and
Yeah.
oo nga, hindi ko nga deserve, chamba nga lang. So you're
Okay
gonna be
lang mag-fall
focused.
out,
This is
diba?
thing I was looking at na I read before na it's so easy to spot a blue car if that's what you're focusing on.
Correct.
If you think blue car,
pregnant
then you're in the
women,
road.
if you yourself
May
are
ganun ba?
pregnant. Oo.
Ay,
When you're pregnant, parang sasabihin mo, ang daming buntis ngayon, no? Kasi, yun yung ano
since that's
ras.
what's yeah, something like that. So I guess yun, I reminded again to everyone also na who are experiencing the same thing, this imposter syndrome, na if you focus on it too much, you're gonna look for, because it's inevitable to
Yes.
find signs and clues to support the claim na oo, chamba ka lang, di mo talaga
Oo, ganun talaga.
deserve.
So dapat lista-lista ka na lang.
Yeah,
Oh,
and it
ito
goes
yung
back to, I think,
positive.
the good thing about this mid-year, quote-unquote slump, na even if it's looked at a negative thing, a slump, like a slowing down, a part na natatamad ka, it's a chance to keep the big picture in mind. It's a chance to keep the big picture in mind, but
Yes.
at the same time, look at the tiny parts of
Yeah.
the, like let's say,
So balancing ulit, ano?
yeah, like let's say it's a big puzzle that you want to complete. You complete sections of it muna. Like there are
Yes.
tiny building blocks to eventually lead to the big puzzle picture.
Yeah, so if talking about the big picture, it also allows you to, kumbaga, tweak something. So, for example, something is not working and it's already mid-year. Oh, teka, sandali. What am I trying to achieve ba? It's not naman that small detail
Yeah.
It's a bigger picture. Oh, so there are other ways pa pala to achieve this. So, parang, it's really a balancing of what you set out
Yeah.
on para bang shorter periodic goals and then
I
what
think
is
of
the
an
big
example
picture.
of probably the most famous goal in New Year resolution is getting fit, living a healthy lifestyle. A goal can be example going to the gym 3 or 4 times a week, but the main the spirit or the reason why you're having that goal is to live a healthy lifestyle.
Healthy, yeah.
And maybe gym, specifically going to the gym, is not the way. Maybe you can get into, I don't know, yoga, or
Yeah.
you work out at home, or you do
So-
boxing. Like there are different ways to achieve the reason behind the goal. Not
Yes.
necessarily like the mid-year again. The mid-year is a chance to look at that na parang, you know what, baka gym isn't my thing. Because the gym is a good place to, syempre, work out, stay motivated, but it's not necessarily the only way to be fit and live a healthy lifestyle.
Correct. Tapos also, you can probably remind yourself not to fret too much on the things that you cannot control. That's what I'm trying to implement on myself. There are so many things kasi that you cannot control, such as a lot of your expectations don't materialize. And
Yeah.
minsan, it's just so frustrating. Diba? So, instead of focusing too much energy on that, wala ka namang magagawa. You just try to work your way around. So, yun. And maybe it's good to always remind myself. Yun nga, no, you said a while ago, the big picture, no? Yung why.
Yeah. It's like we learned this thing in Christian morality back in high school na when you talk about the law, like there's a difference between the letter of the law and the spirit
The spirit of the
law.
law. Oh.
That it's a way, the letter of the law, which is the exact the concrete thing, like don't do ganyan,
Yes.
don't do this. It's important, but only because it's the concrete, more understandable
way to carry out.
way
the
to carry
spirit
out
of
the law. But the main reason is
Yes.
the spirit of the law, why you're applying that law, why this thing is set up in the first place.
Oo. Ako naman sinabi ni Simon Sinek, start with the why.
Yeah.
So it's not just starting with the why, but also assess your mid-year with the why. Okay.
Okay, so just another recap, that these mid-year slumps, these trying to achieve huge goals, very intimidating goals, it's important to always break it down to smaller, less intimidating, and more doable goals. Because it's important to have these big, audacious dreams,
Yes.
but you're always gonna get kind of intimidated about it, and it's always important to break it down to smaller steps, to mini victories that will eventually, when you
That was-
add them all up,
Yes.
will lead to the big goal.
The
Because
big
no one achieves huge goals overnight.
Overnight,
It's
correct.
really a long,
Process.
sometimes boring,
Yes.
tedious
Frustrating.
process. But important na you get over these slumps. I think those are besides setting the goal in the first place, it's getting over these slumps. It's continuing it kahit nakakataba na. That's what seals the deal. That's what make that's what allow people to achieve these goals.
Yep. And then, as we reminded them, don't forget the big picture. Don't forget your why. Okay, so we do hope that the rest of the year would be great for
Yes.
all of us.
Or even greater.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you.
And be open to the surprises, ah.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I would
yun
always
yung
think
mga
that
ano eh.
at the start of each year, although it's still a surprise, I still expect that there's always like a big surprise. Because when you think of each year, you have that like number one.
Yes.
This is the year na ganyan happen. There's always like a big surprise, and embrace it lang. Not just talking about goals, and that's also friendships.
Exactly.
People you meet, people
It's
you
really
look
the
up to.
relationships that matter.
Yes. Okay.
Okay,
So-
so there you have it. I hope you all have a great next half of the year. So this has been FQ Mom, Rose Fresh Fausta.
And Anton Falso. Thank you for listening to another episode of Mom and Son Podcast. See you guys again next week. Mom and Son Podcast airs every Tuesday at 7 a.m. or anytime at your convenience and can be streamed on Spotify, YouTube, Apple iTunes, and Buzzsprout. Just search Mom and Son Podcast for your weekly dose of family, finance, passions, and everything in between.